Hello and welcome to another video. This is video number 9. It's going to be about chartings, and charting is a wonderful tool of communicating your result very quickly. And before I start, I wanted to give a credit to this website that I use a lot of their data from there directly. It's a wonderful website. It's very easy to follow. It's called www.excel-easy.com. I really need to give them the credits because they have helped me over the years with so many of their tutors and their data. So I grab their data in order for me to save some time in these videos. Anyway, if I have 3 columns here, or 3 variable or 3 labels with bears, dolphin, and whale, this is what they saved in the year 2017 through 2022. The reason I did not label this year because I wanted to use this as the the label, the horizontal or the x-axis label. If you ended up putting like the label year here, it's going to be very distorted chart. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and show it to you how ugly it's going to look, but we're going to save the day by removing that word because a lot of people maybe do not recognize the difference between having a label here or not having a label in this cell for the years. So if I go to insert, which insert is a very, very interesting, again, a ribbon which has all the object that you can add to your spreadsheet that's not part of the cells, but an object that they have their own minds, their own sub ribbons that you will be able to manipulate, just like chart one of them. As you will notice, when we go ahead and select the data, and I usually do that if I know exactly what I'm going to do. If I wanted to draw a multiple chart, of course, that's a whole different story in future videos. But in this case, let's go ahead and start with the column chart. And if I clicked on the column chart with 2D, look how ugly is this chart, because really now the year have taken over the largest columns because the data is so different from 2008. And also, I don't want it to have the year to be part of the chart. I want it to have the year to be part of the label. So I'm going to click on the object. As you notice here, we ended up having actually a ribbon associated with the chart by itself, formatting the chart and chart design. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. If I click out of it, the ribbon is going to disappear. If I click on it back, the ribbons are going to be added. In this case, I'm going to delete it. Of course, the ribbon, both of them, going to disappear. I'm going to take that word out. So this is where the source of the confusion, leaving these as the label for the whatever I wanted to draw, a chart. So I'm going to select everything. I wanted to see the 3 of them, the bears, the dolphin, and the whales in column charts, and then I will see how easy it is to fix the chart. Also change our mind about the different type of charting that you have under the insert ribbon. So let's go to the insert ribbon, and I'm going to click on the 2D's columns, and notice the columns are vertical versus the bar, as we will show you later, which is horizontal. So really nice, the chart, very quickly. And of course, I could go ahead and see that the bears, the dolphin, the whales with different colors. I wanted to go ahead and change a few things about the chart in order for us to understand, in case we don't like the color, for example. I don't like the color gray. So I need to click on the color gray, any one of them, one time. If you do end up clicking double times, you're going to select only the column here. So make sure that you understand the difference between 1 click and 2 click. Usually we wanted to change the color for everything. And as you notice, we could go to the format here, and we could get a color from shape here. We could change it to something like this, see, green color. And if I wanted to do the same thing only for this column, for example, which is it's unusual to do it that way, but I just wanted to show you the difference. I clicked on it twice, and I wanted to go ahead and do this purple by itself. You will notice this became a purple. Anyway, I wanted to go ahead and undo at this moment, And this is my chart that covers the three variables: the bear, dolphin, and whales. Of course, I could go ahead and change this, saving animals. Okay, and this is my chart. I could go ahead and do it however I want. You see here, I wanted to have it all these different type of good things that you could use in order to enhance the visual of your chart. Of course, this is not the only thing you could do. If you go to the chart design, one of the most important things for you to realize, of course, you could change the feeling or the look of the chart. If you ended up doing it, you like this, you're like this. However, one is so interesting, you could actually get the data along with the chart, or you could go to the quick layout where it's really very rich feature here. If you wanted to go ahead and change, for example, a chart to show the chart and have an access here. This is the number of the saved animal. This is the data as it shows it from the table. In case I wanted to take this chart and send it another sheet by itself, which I can in order for bigger view or different type of manipulation for the chart or changes. For example, I could go ahead and say move the chart. Where do I move it? Maybe I move it to another sheet, or I'm going to leave it into a new sheet. And as you notice here, we click OK. So the chart now taking the whole sheet in a second, as you will see. Here we go. It's a little bit slow, but here it is. So we can manipulate the chart here by itself. I could rename it by clicking on this option here, name it to whatever I want. I'll say chart 1. And this is very easy to do. Not only this, you could go and click on the chart itself and get back the chart design and go to the quick layout, and again you could do the same thing we did in the earlier. So notice here we have all sorts of changes that we could do. Again, we could go ahead and choose any of the layout. I usually like to show number 5, layout number 5, because it shows the data along with the columns, and it allows me to go ahead and maybe add another saved animal or number of saved animal here. And this way you will notice saved number of saved animal. So notice here, anything you want, you could directly do it here. You could change the blue color here, go to the fill, change it to something else directly from here, from the panel to the right, and you are in control. So since this is a bigger area for my chart, as you notice, we could go ahead and show you another way of displaying the chart. If you're not happy with the column for whatever reason, let's go ahead and make this one here just to give it a more lively color, the greenish. Okay, and if you're not happy with this, you could go ahead and change the type of the color, because maybe you wanted to display the result as a line chart instead of a column chart. Here is a line chart. You could choose this one here, for example, click OK. Immediately the chart is going to be changed to a line chart. Of course, it keeps the little quick layout for number 5. You could, of course, change it to anything you want. See here, if I do change it to this one here, you're going to different look. You're going to see that no data, but you're going to see the actual values of the saved animal over certain years. And of course, we could go ahead and change this into another look. Like, let's take a look at the bar chart. And notice here, it's going to be the chart that we usually call column. It's really called bar because it's a horizontal. As you notice, it's a horizontal bar. The difference between column and bar gives you a much larger area to the left of the label in case you have a long text to label it. I always use the bar chart for that reason. All right, let's go ahead and continue. As you notice, it's very easy to do this. And if I wanted to change that back to column, oh, sorry, I clicked the wrong option here. In the future, we will be using that because this is a very powerful feature, especially when you wanted to have multiple chart at the same multiple curves, for example, at the same chart. We usually do that in statistics or economics where we have all that. All right, let's go ahead and go back to a different type of chart. One thing I wanted to bring to your attention, sometimes you don't want to display all the data in the chart. You want it to display maybe the bears and the whales. So in this case, we could select this one first and hold the control key, select the bears, and also select the whales in non-contiguous, meaning non-adjacent data. That allows you, while you're pressing the control. Now, if you go to the insert, go ahead and do a chart. Let's go ahead and do a 2-column chart. It only included for you the bears and the whale, because of course we did not include the dolphin. This is another way. Sometimes you have to really do that in the real world, where you select only 2 or 3. If you have maybe 10 of those, you only select whatever you want, or you're focused on certain type of comparison between 2 variables. That's what would you do. In order to move with this, I'm going to go ahead and show you another type of chart. Is very, very important to really use and understand. If you notice here, we have the month from January all the way to February, to December, sorry. And we have rainy days, and we have the profit that company made in relation to the number of the rainy days for that specific month. Look at the difference between the values between the rainy days and the profit. This is incredibly huge difference. So if you wanted to get back to the column chart, let's go ahead and do a column chart and see how this is going to be looking. So in a way, tragic. So let's go ahead and get that insert, and we're going to go ahead and do this. And notice I cannot even see the rainy days because they become dwarfs in values comparing to the profit. So this doesn't mean a thing. So what would be in this case, where we have drastic differences in the value, is to get the profit by itself in a chart, and maybe a distinct chart with the rainy days. And this is what we refer to as a combo chart. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this, and we're going to select the data, of course, one more time. And now, luckily for us, now we have the combo as part of the option, as you notice right here. Okay, so you could choose that. I'm going to choose this one here. See, the second one. Now it's clearly this is makes much more sense, because if you notice, the rainy days is in the blue, but of course we could add the data if you want directly from changing the layout. See here, we could go ahead and get all the data. You know, you play with this on your own, because time is very precious here with these videos. But you notice, so it's very, very clear that we have 2 charts, one for the profit, which is to the right here, and the data to the right, so it tells you what we're referring to, and one for the rainy day, which is the blue. If you're not, you wanted to switch those, you wanted to do the columns for the profits, and the rainy day is the line, no big deal. We're going to go ahead and go to change chart type, and we're going to go all the way to combo. Here we go, we're going to click on combo. So the rainy days, instead of having it clustered columns, we're going to change it to something like a line. See here. And also, since the profit already in line, I'm going to go ahead and change it to columns. And this way, now we switched them. And it depends on how you want it to display that. And it's very easy to do, as you notice. Of course, you could get a different look, and many things you can include in the chart to make it more appealing to your audience. So this is combo. Please take advantage of this, and also practice. If you don't practice, nothing gonna sink in your head. Knowing that practice some more is the only way to learn Excel. And we're gonna go ahead and get one more, actually 2 more charts. I know it's a lengthy video, but it's worth it. If you see here, sometimes we have name Oliver, Jack, Bob, and we have their sales in different month. And I wanted to go ahead and see, compare all this here to each other. This is going to be a very good candidate for something we call sparkling. So we're going to go ahead and look at this one here, and we're going to go ahead and look at this, and it's going to tell me what do you want to do. Actually, I could do it one at a time, so to show you the impact of this one here, I could click on this guy, line, sparkline rather, and I'm going to go ahead and start with this one here, and I'm going to show the result right here, okay, for the first chart. There we go. Okay, 1 second, I ended up clicking too many things. Here we go, we're going to click this and click OK, and now we have the sparkline. So we could go ahead and go all the way down in order to reflect the changes for the sales of for the 3 people here. And notice you could really do something really powerful here. You could show the low points, and you could show the high points if you want. You could show the first points and last points. You could change the look of these if you choose to for different coloration. That's what you want. And of course, you could go ahead and change this into columns if you would. See that? So it changed the column. And of course, this is probably better for line. And notice that you could go ahead and put additional piece of data. That's for the markers. And also later I'm going to show you an example on how to use it for the negative points. So this comes in handy. Now we're going to go ahead and do it for, again, go to the insert and go to, in this case, we're going to go ahead and do lose and win and lose. Notice this is basically we have negative value, so the negative value are going to be lost value, and the positive value is the win. So we're going to go ahead and select these, as you notice, and of course the data already been picked up by Excel to be the adjacent one. I'm going to leave it. Excel chose the right one. Not all the time though. Be careful to look at what Excel provide you. So we're going to go ahead and click OK. Notice here the low is going to be the red color in this case. And here we go. We're going to go ahead and see that started here high, then somehow it went low. Here 2 high, 1 low, 1 high, 1 low. So this is basically how you should use that. If you wanted to go ahead and check the highest high point, of course you don't want to crowd this, because if you ended up crowding it, it will be hard for your audience to understand what's going on. But you could change the color if you're not happy with the first choice Excel provided with you. I'm going to move it quickly into another chart. I know it's a very lengthy video, but again, this could help us to watch the whole thing in one video. This is introduction to charting. I mean, charting could be a lot more than that. All right, so let's assume, just to give you a different flavor, a dynamic chart where you probably appreciate the creative side of Excel as well. Let's assume that we have a project that is going to cover 15 weeks. And we wanted to accomplish the production of 1,500 units in 12 weeks. So let's go ahead and start here by saying week. And this is going to be week 1, 0, 1. Let's put it this way. And I'm going to go ahead and take it all the way down to, now I have the digit at the end of it, all the way to week 12. So I was lucky that I got the 12. And let's say here how much unit we accomplish in each of the week. And let's say here the goal, as I said earlier, to complete is basically 1,500. All right, so let's assume that we did 56 in the first week and 130 in the second week. So how much we accomplish up to this point is how much is done so far is going to be the sum of everything exists in those cells. So I'm going to select all of them, because any changes in the cell later is going to reflect on the completed. For example, if I have here 78, this is going to be reflected. I wanted to create a thermometer, in order to actually reflect the changes versus what the completed versus what's remaining. So let me go ahead and walk you through this. Again, it would be wonderful if you do practice this. Okay, so let's go ahead and say this is the percentage of how much has been done versus how much completed. It's going to be this value, how much we completed, divided by the goal. And I could have multiplied it by 100 to get the percentage, but I don't need to do that with Excel because Excel has a fantastic formatting capability. And I could go ahead and turn it immediately into percentage and add 2 digits to the right of the decimal points to get the more accurate value. So far we accomplished 17.60%. If I added here another one like 190, we jumped to 30%. With time, we're going to add to those weeks, but we want to see how is the dynamic chart is going to look like as a thermometers. First of all, the thermometer is going to be based only on this. This is the completed one versus the remaining of the 100% that I need to complete. So this is what the chart starts with. Select both of them. And we're going to go to Insert, and we're going to go to Columns, but instead of taking columns, the typical one, the traditional one, we're going to go ahead and get the stacked column, the stacked columns. And in this case, I'm going to, first of all, clean around. I'm going to take that percentage out. I'm going to take this one out. And I wanted to go ahead and click also these. I don't need them to be there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the blue area and go to Format Data Series and eliminate any gap in the width. There we go. So it's going to be completed. Notice the chart immediately assume that 30% or close to it is the highest possible value. That's not the case. The highest possible value must be 100%. So I'm going to click on this and go to this area, click on Format Axis. You're going to deal with another panel. It's called Format Axis. We're going to start with 0 for sure. It's very, very important to change this and hit Enter so the chart later doesn't fluctuate. And of course, we need to change this from 35 as it was guessed by Excel to the 100%, which is 1. This is the 1 is 100%. Leaving this, so the percentage is 10% increase. You could change it to 0.5 if you want. Here we go. If you choose to do that, just for the sake of completion discussion, you see that could be too crowded maybe. It's a matter of a style that you could actually do. So the major is going to be 0.1, which is the 10%. All right, so we're going to go ahead and squeeze this area here. And this area on the top, because it's stacked, different from this area, but I'm going to go ahead and click on this and go to the fill and change it to distinct color, like red maybe. Here we go. All right, that's good. And also, I wanted to go to this one here, click the right button, and go to the border and say no line. I don't want the line around it. Okay, so it's, I know if I clicked on it, the line will show up to tell you how big is that chart. Then I'm going to use another object under the Insert, which is Shapes. As you notice here, I'm going to choose the oval, which allows me, if I press the Shift key, to actually create a perfect circle. And I could go ahead and create this circle here and move it right here on the top to look like thermometer. All right, and I'm gonna also, this has already been clicked, hold the Shift key to select the top part of the chart, and then click the right button, and guess what? We're gonna group it as one item. This is another way of grouping multiple objects or drawing that you will do in the future when you use Excel, by the way. So this is now has become one chart. See that? And I could go to the edge of it and move it around if I want. And now let's see if I added here 200. So it was a really productive week 5, and here we go. You notice that the thermometers already increased. If I deleted those 3 for whatever reason, just to show you, of course the thermometer is going to lower its the percentage of completion percentage, or the percentage of completion. Sorry about that. I hope you have enjoyed this. It's a very lengthy, but hopefully you will be able to get a good understanding of basic charting from this video. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the time that you invest in these videos. This type of scale is gonna be around for years to come, so it's good to learn it. And thank you so much.